a golf shaft review that you just won't have to trade in your Maserati to go get done for your golf club. Let's see what we're going to be doing next. Welcome back to McGolf Fitting Room. Jim McCleary here, and we are going to review a pair of shafts, And there's a few unique things about this shaft. Number one, it's for club makers only. So professional club makers are the ones that are going to carry this. So if you're going to be looking for this particular shaft, you need to go to Professional Fitting Centers. It's under the True Temper banner. They have a course curriculum you have to pass. You have to, be in a standing and then be able to understand some of the stuff that's going on with their product in order to be a PFC. So anyway, they are offering a line of shafts called the Vertex, VRTX. All right, VRTX. There we go, VRTX. Now, what is the VRTX? The VRTX are two shafts. They're built under the platform of the Hazardous line. So you had the Hazardous black, you had the red, you had the yellow. There's smoke, all these other, but it's under that platform. I won't say it's in the family because it doesn't carry the Hazardous title. It is its own shaft, but it stems from that family. So we'll call it a cousin, okay? The red shaft is for a higher ball flight, all right? And the blue shaft is for a more penetrating ball flight with lower spin. So high launch, higher spin, lower launch, lower spin. And there are about 14 shafts that are going to come in this lineup in order to be able to fit a lot of different people. Now, what we have is there's a 40, a 50, and a 60 gram in the red, and then a 50, a 60, and a 70 gram in the blue. In the red, it spans from a Ladies Flex, the 4.0, Ladies Flex, and it goes all the way down into the stiff where they overlap in each category. So you go L and A and R and S, all the way down. Now in the blue shaft, it takes a little different one. In the 50, you start with a regular and a stiff, and then in the next category, it's regular, stiff, and extra stiff. And then the next category, it's in the 70 gram, it's stiff and extra stiff. All right, so that's the particulars of it. So we have a shaft that is off the Hazardous lineup. It comes in a bunch of different weights and a bunch of different flexes, so we're pretty much sure we're going to find a fit here. The paint job is pretty nice. It's a good-looking blue, a good-looking red for whatever you need. Price. The price is probably, I'm going to call this one it's not a budget shaft by any shape of the imagination, but normally when you hear all these new ones, you see there's $1,000 shafts out there, there's $300 shafts. It is nowhere near those. All right. I'm hesitant to tell you the actual cost because each club maker has their own business model, and last thing I need you to do is going, well, Jim said on YouTube that it was going to cost this. I'm in Ohio versus a guy in New York. I am sure they will be different. Needless to say that based on what we're seeing, that this could be very much a stock shaft for us in order to provide a service so people can afford to keep golfing. I'll just leave it at that. So don't have to turn in your Maserati. It's actually pretty good on the pocketbook. Now, the question is, does it work? All right? Does it work? And that's what we're going to go find out. So let's go hit some balls. Hitting these golf balls, what we're seeing is I've decided to use 2 red shafts and 2 blue shafts and various kinds. However, one of my blue shafts, the screw got broken in the tip, so now we're down to 2 reds and 1 blue. And it should give us an idea of what we need. And what I took was a regular flex shaft and a stiff shaft in the red, and then I was going to take an S and an X in the blue. And just see what they do, right? Are they as low spinning as they say? Do they hit like they're supposed to? That kind of stuff. Okay, so what you saw was it did exactly what it was supposed to, right? The regular flex was wide dispersion and mostly to my inside, more of the draw is exactly what it was. And if you notice, the ball flight was kind of low. The stiff flex in that very same category hit the ball a little higher, hit a little bit further, hit a little bit better, spin just a little bit less, and the dispersion came really tight, right? That's exactly what we expect that to do. Now, hitting it with the Mizuno club, I used the Mizuno, the ST, yeah, I used the STZ. I used the Mizuno STZ as the constant. All right, the grips were the same, so the only thing different was the shaft. And the Mizuno club is an actual lower spinning club. In almost every instance, I hit the ball with less spin than I normally do. And actually, if you notice, I hit the ball as about as good as anybody could hit it with a 150, 151 spot. And that's based on ball speed. So I was finding the middle of the club face, which isn't too bad. I just need to learn to swing faster. So maybe that's something to work on in the winter. Anyway, so when we got into the blue, I used the X, and I thought, here it comes, the board feeling and the whole 9 yards. And consequently, it did not, right? It did not. It actually hit pretty good for me. It went a yard further and with a closer dispersion place than all the rest of them. So I'm just kind of wondering what the stiff flex would have truly have done. That would have been something else. So what does that mean? Well, number one, all the shafts felt really, really good. Okay, really good. And that's what we want. They felt, and I've hit the hazardous smoke. I've hit those before, and we don't, and it's been a very, very good shaft. And these are no different. So you got a good feeling shaft at a decent price, and the performance is exactly like it's supposed to be. So there we go. So it does exactly what we ask it to do, and it comes in the various weights. So it ought to fit different swing profile as well. So this is not a bad shaft. Who does it fit? Basically everybody, right? The high hitters, the low ball flighters, the whole 9 yards, and it is going to be fit by a professional. So it's going to be one that works for you. So if you get a chance, find yourself a local PFC, and I'll put a link in the show notes below of where you can go to the website so you can go check to see if there's one near you, and give these guys a shot. I mean, there's good looking shaft, good looking performance, good looking feel, and a good looking price. So I don't see where you go wrong with this guy. All right, and as always, guys, let's see your scores go low.